No, when we get done, we just.
I mean, as a group.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of communication. On average, we have at least one, usually two social events a year. So, a month rather. So there's time for communication there. There's at any given time, the local Tim Hortons down the street, you'll probably find 3 or 4 or 5 B&I members together then. The power teams, for the most part, meet at least once a month outside of the chapter. There's a little bit of a mind shift, if you will, on power teams. You get a power teams, if you're 2 people, you could have a builder and an architect. You guys could be a great power team. A lot of work passing back and forth. Mark and Chuck, great power team. A lot of business passing back and forth. You don't have to have this subsection of the chapter to be able to be a true power team. After the meeting itself, yeah, there's obviously a lot of open networking afterwards, a lot of communication. There's new businesses that have been formed because of our chapter. There are new business opportunities that have been formed, so those people that are involved in those endeavors, they meet a lot outside of the chapter. Is that okay to you, Rush? Yes?
I brought up an interesting point. By being involved in these groups, you meet so many people that there's so many other networking events out there that you don't feel afraid to go to.
Exactly.
You become so insecure sometimes that I heard about them, I'm not going to go there. Odds are, if you go there, you're going to know some of your members, some of your own members. And it really, I know Callie and I, there's something going on tonight. I looked at it, I got my email, I said, well, I don't know, probably don't know anybody in this place, I'm not going to go there. And I was talking to Callie, she said something about she's going there. I said, okay, I'll go. I'll be at a networking event tonight because I know someone will be there. It's a little easier to go.
Yep.
And who knows if you get a lead that way. And so it really has a lot of tentacles.
A lot of tentacles that reach out. One great exercise or strategy to use at those is, one, because our financial advisor that's in our chapter, Andrew, who was our president last year, he's very good about doing this. He's very conscious. Again, he has a goal. If he goes to a networking event, he has a goal to the number of people that he wants to meet and talk to. So if I walk in here and be like, hey, Andrew, how's it going? Blah, blah. Now, he's going to see me on Thursday morning. We talk on the phone a couple times a week. He's like, yeah, Dino, good to see you. What's going on? All right, moving on. Don't, grab the arm of the other fellow B&I member that's in your chapter and occupy all their time if they have other things they want to get onto. However, it is a great opportunity to either use that person or to introduce that person to someone else that you want to meet. Because they might know them, be able to give you that handshake introduction, let you get involved in the conversation, and then they can move on to what they're going to do. So absolutely, Max, it's some of the best referrals and handshake introductions have been done at other networking events by one B&I member for another B&I member. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes?
How do you get around training the new members when MSP doesn't seem to be around a lot?
We have a new member orientation. Our chapter mentor, which is me, is responsible for that. Here is our folder, and we have a checklist of things that we want to go over with our new members, right there. So we go through those, make sure that they understand what's expected of them. We go back over the attendance policy with them again, in case in the last few weeks they've forgotten what that was, talk about what good substitutes are, show them how to properly fill out a referral slip, talk about their 7-minute presentation, all the things that will make somebody a good new member.
Do you go over that with them as a prospective member? How much time do you spend with prospective members?
That's it.
What's expected?
Our visitor hosts, we have I think 5 in our chapter. Yes, they're much like what's going to happen at 8:30. The visitors are dismissed outside of our room, and the visitor hosts go through the application process, show them what areas of the application that need to be filled out. They do a follow-up call the following week, which is so important for your chapters that have visitor hosts. Again, that's part of the system. Follow up, follow up, follow up, just like you would on a sales lead or a sales referral. How many sales, and I'm going to be kind of guessing here a little bit, but what percentage of sales are closed on the first call? It's like 3%. It's very, very little. Like Jim O'Shea, I don't know if he did this at training, but like 60% of all sales are made after the 5th call. So you have to be persistent. Now, you don't want to bug somebody to death. Or visitor hosts, are you following up? Let them know, remind them they can come back for another meeting. Find out if they met anybody there. In our meeting recap that our president does, she lists all the subs for the week that came and all the visitors for the week that came, and says, if you made a connection with any of these individuals, please feel free to follow up. So again, if you had a visitor that came to your chapter that you would like to do business with, that you would like to know better, don't just let the visitor host follow up on that person. You guys as a chapter member follow up with that person. It, again, shows the multiple touch points to that individual that you're wanted. There's business here waiting for you. Please come, apply, be part of our chapter. Yes?
I have a question about, see, what we decided here when we get new members is, okay, we want to have electrician or whatever. Would it be better or more effective to find some profession, like you just mentioned about edible arrangements, and they do great business, that's a great business model. So when you mentioned that, okay, edible arrangement guy does or gal does good business, use that as a jumping off point and trying to locate here another edible arrangement person. Does that work or does
Oh,
that
I think so. Franchise models are great. I mean, if one franchise owner has had success doing something, they'll usually repeat it. You know, someone here from People's Bank. My mother-in-law is a branch manager up in East Lyme, Karen Matone. And I don't know if you guys go to the same regional meetings or not, probably not. But she says every week, or every month when they have a meeting, at some point B&I is mentioned. I can think off the top of my head probably at least a dozen members of B&I that are People's. Paychecks is in the room. A lot of Paycheck reps in B&I. A lot of Aflac reps in B&I. If it's a franchise model, if it's working for one person, not only will it get around, but like you can call Michelle Hinton from, or you know, you could have the local edible arrangements person call Michelle from our chapter. She'd be more than happy to tell her about her success in our chapter. Absolutely. I want to get back here to Dr. Matt real quick. Yeah, so not only is it done with the visitor host and the follow-up, but also through the membership committee when they're processing the application. I mean, these were some of the things that we talked about, and as ADs that we've talked about, chapter, you know, best practices for chapters. I can tell you, it does work.